Chelsea Football Club are through to the Club World Cup semi-finals. It was a 2 a.m. kickoff. I had to take a tactical nap to even stay awake during the game, but it was worth it in the end. It was a hard fought out game, but we deserved the win in my opinion. We were the better team. And although we were never really comfortably in the lead, we were only ever one goal up or drawing. I think the scoreline went in favour of the worthy team. Now look, there are so many things that are going on now in the world of Chelsea and football and the Club World Cup that we're going to get into it. This is going to be a big video. But first I want to say, I know this video is coming out a bit late. There are a few reasons for that. Firstly, because obviously it's a really late kickoff. I was so tired. The game ended at like 4 a.m. And also because I had to get some sleep because I had a driving lesson at like 1 p.m. So if I wanted to get even 8 hours of sleep and be energized for that, I had to go to sleep straight after the game. So I decided to do it after my driving lesson and just do it now. So of course the result, 2-1, goals from Cole Palmer and an own goal from Weverton in goal, but we'll give it to Gusto, his first goal for Chelsea. It counts, come on guys. And then obviously Estevao for Palmeiras. Firstly, I'm so relieved to see Palmer score a non-penalty goal. It's been too long, man, and it was a great finish. And it's the finishes he does all the time. It's the just like calmly passes it into the back of the net, not too much power. They're tough finishes to pull off, but he does it on a regular basis, which, you know, is really impressive. And it's just good to see him score and the celebration. I missed him. But he's back, and yeah, man, it was a great goal. The second goal was a bit more scrappy. Obviously, took a couple deflections. Keeper should have probably done better. But we take it. We had a lot of chances as well. Their goal, Estevao, I mean, wow, man. I mean, look, when he scored, obviously I was pissed because I did not want it to go extra time. That'd have had to mean I stayed up for another 30 minutes. But if it was anyone to score that goal for their team, it would have been Estevao. I mean, the guy just looks so good on the ball, so confident as well. The guy's 18 and he's going up against a top Premier League side and he just doesn't care. He doesn't respect his opponents. He's confident in his ability, and he's letting the defender know, if you're not confident in yours to defend me, bro, I'm going to get the better of you. And I think Cucurella managed him quite well. I do think Estevao, you know, was a bit quiet in terms of dribbling, but his effect was still, you know, clear on the pitch. He was making some great passes, you know, splitting the defence and midfield. And the goal, I mean, you can say that Sanchez could have done better for it and covered his near post. I'm inclined to agree, but the finish was just unstoppable, I think, even if he was positioned slightly better, because it ricochets off the crossbar, then off the post, and then it's one of those that you can't save. And the power on it, the confidence in the strike, the way he gets past Colwill. He's just such an impressive player, man. And it's sad that he's out of the tournament, obviously, but it had to be done. And yeah, hopefully he just goes on to do amazing things for us. I really do hope he gets good minutes next season, is a regular in the squad. And yeah, I'm so happy to see him score. And when he celebrated, it hurt me a little bit. It was like, you're celebrating against your own club, mate. But look, that's the passion he has for his team. And again, no respect for the opponent. Whoever he's playing for, he shows them full respect. And whoever he's playing against, no respect. So that's in terms of the goals. Then we obviously got to see João Pedro make his debut. He came on around the 50-something minute in second half. And I thought he was very, very good. I thought he looked sharp. I thought on the ball he was very comfortable, a lot more than Delap. Delap didn't really have an impact today. Wasn't really getting much of the ball. In fact, I think João Pedro probably had like triple the touches Delap had. He was making some great passes, some great runs. That one into the box was Hazard-esque. It was R9-esque even, some people were saying. And those are some crazy comparisons. But obviously, when a player makes their debut, it's obviously going to get gassed up. And Andre Santos as well made his first start for Chelsea, which obviously two sides of the same coin. One was, I was gassed to see Andre Santos finally play. Second, though, obviously worried about Reece James, because whenever you hear that Reece James has an injury or even a knock, it's not a good sign. It's not something you want to hear. And there could be many repercussions that come with that have longer lasting effects. But I'm not going to get too worried until there's an update. I feel like Maresca came out and said that he felt something in the warm-up and they didn't want to risk it. So that kind of tells me that, or lets me know that it wasn't anything serious. It wasn't like an actual injury. It's just maybe a little bit of pain. Just sit this one out. Andre Santos comes in and puts in an absolutely magnificent performance, which Reece James would be proud of. Caicedo, who was absent, would be proud of. Lavia would be proud of. He was just so confident on the ball. But for me, what stood out today from Andre Santos was his defensive capabilities. he was intercepting every pass. He was tackling every player that tried to get past him. He was getting stuck in. He was physical. He was impressive, guys. And this is a guy who obviously has a lot to prove. Maresca's being a bit reluctant to play him. He wants him to adapt to the system, this and that. This was a statement from Andre Santos to Maresca saying, look, Gaffer, I'm ready, and I'm not just ready to chip in and to fill in spots when there are absences. I'm ready to start. I'm ready to challenge these guys for the spot in the starting 11. And to me, it was a very, very impressive performance. He played all the 90 and then came off in injury time for a Sugo, I think. And what a player. Andre Santos, man. We've got a strong player there. But yeah, man, João Pedro was great. Andre Santos was great. I thought Gusto actually had a surprisingly good performance. He had some errors here and there on the ball. The passes weren't great defensively as well. Sometimes he was, a bit invisible. But I thought he was a lot more consistent today, a lot more solid. And obviously gets us the second goal that eventually wins the game for Chelsea. And it's just great to see. And it's a big relief for me and my boy who I'm on call with, just praying that it doesn't go to extra time. But yeah, we got it done. I thought Cucurella was very good at keeping Estevao relatively quiet. I thought the defenders for the most part were good. Chalobah was very impressive. Cole was decent. And again, Gusto was all right. We were playing Andre Santos and Enzo midfield. Enzo Fernandez had an absolutely amazing performance today. That is the Enzo Fernandez we want to see. Making successful passes from range, short range as well. Keeping the ball, winning the ball back. It was just a peak Enzo Fernandez performance. That is what you expect from a player of this quality. And I didn't hear anyone mention his transfer fee during the game, so he must have done something right. Thought Nkunku was a little quiet. He came off from Madueke, who was decent. He was getting some crosses in. He was getting some shots in, but none of them really were successful. There was one which was a great strike. It was actually João Pedro who played in the ball. Madueke takes a touch, then on his left foot, powers it to the near post. It's a good save from Weverton, then hits the post. But yeah, that would have sealed it. And then João Pedro himself had a chance a few minutes later with a volley. So yeah, we looked dangerous all game, and I don't think there was really a point where Palmeiras had the upper hand. Maybe after the equaliser and before the equaliser, start of the second half, we were a bit slow. It's happened a few times this tournament. But in fact, when they scored, something I was very worried about was us collapsing. Because I think Estevao scored around the 50-something minute. And that was when Flamengo scored their equaliser in the group stage. And we know what happened there. We just fully collapsed. But no, we kept composure. We regained control of the game. And then our chances, paid off and we got the goal. Speaking briefly about Madueke, though, there was a very interesting comment made from Maresca after the game regarding Madueke. I think one of the reporters asked him, so what is the future looking like for Madueke? There's been rumours he's going to Arsenal, this and that. And Maresca says, whoever wants to stay and play, stays. And whoever wants to go, I'm happy to see leave. That, to me, is a sign that this guy is not only open to leaving, but I think we'll see Madueke leave Stamford Bridge this summer. And there's also been reports that personal talks and talks between clubs has been advancing in recent stages, recent moments as well. So yeah, it's looking like Arsenal are going to sign Madueke from Chelsea. And look, let me not entertain people saying that, because Arsenal signing another player from Chelsea is going to flop, or he's washed, when they signed Petr Cech when he was, getting quite old, when they signed David Luiz when he was washed, when they signed Willian when he was washed, when they signed Kepa now, when they signed Jorginho, he was old. This is not a player who they're going to sign who's going to be washed. I don't even think it's a player like Havertz, because Havertz, when they signed him, just wasn't he didn't really have much more of a ceiling in the Premier. He'd already had 3 full seasons, hadn't really progressed season on season. Madueke's only had 2.5. And to me, every season he has improved, although maybe not to the standards that we would have expected. He has improved. I still think he's very young, so he's got a very, very high ceiling still. So this is not a signing where we can say, just because he's going from Chelsea to Arsenal, he's going to flop, or we're getting, a good deal here. I wouldn't like to see Madueke leave. I think he adds a lot of good depth to the wing, even if he doesn't start. But that's the problem. He probably wants to start at this stage of his career. Yeah, but that's the thing. If he goes Arsenal, I don't even know where he starts. And if I was an Arsenal fan, I would want, Rodrigo Goes over Madueke any day. I had to pick between the two. I guess Madueke could start on the left, and then Saka's on the right, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Newcastle rumours have died down a little bit, so I think Arsenal is probably where Madueke wants to go. And look, we kind of should have expected this from Madueke. He's not a guy who I think maybe holds as much loyalty to a club. Obviously, when he came, he was a Tottenham, Tottenham was his boyhood club. He was there in the academy from young. Then he went to PSV and obviously to Chelsea. But when he joined, he said obviously Chelsea is the biggest club in London, one of the biggest clubs in the world. And obviously Tottenham fans weren't too happy. But I assume when he goes to Arsenal, he'll say a similar thing. Or if he goes to Arsenal, it's not. Let me not say when yet, because there's still not much clarity on the situation. But look, Madueke for me is also, aside from being a great player, an exceptional presence to have in the dressing room. He brings good vibes. He brings, jokes, banter, and we have seen that in social media, in just the media in general. The guy's a personality. He's not necessarily robotic or incredibly media trained like a lot of these other players. Comes out with answers that come from the heart. He's not afraid to crack a joke even in the press, and he's just a personality, and that's what I like to see in footballers. And look, obviously footballing ability is always going to be the priority, but you also can't ignore the importance of a dressing room funny guy, a guy who everyone gets on well with, who you're never going to get into an argument with, who you can just count on to have a bit of a laugh with, who can raise the spirits up when you need them to be. And yeah, Noni Madueke to me is that. So it would be a big loss if we did sell him. I think if we can get a good fee though, it's not the worst deal in the world. 50, 55 million, I'd be content with. If we can squeeze more, that'd be great. But yeah, then obviously Estevao's coming in, so I don't know if we'd sign another winger to replace Madueke's spot, or if we'll just stick with Gittins, Pedro, Estevao, Tyreek George, and Pedro Neto, did I say, as our winger options. Or maybe we'll go for a Kudus. We don't know yet. But for now, Madueke is still a Chelsea player, and he clearly is still in the squad and in Maresca's plans to play if he wants to stay, because he came on last night. And one last thing, let me just touch on Pedro Neto. Obviously, we all know the tragic story about Diogo Jota. The football world really came together on that day. We were all sending condolences, making tributes, and the players themselves were coming out as well from all clubs, from all countries. And it was beautiful to see. And obviously, we held the minute silence. Pedro Neto was holding up the shirt with Diogo and Andre on it. And yeah, man, it was really touching. And Pedro Neto, I thought, held his own really well in a tough moment. And I think the fact that he even showed up and started that game and played and had a great performance, to me, it just shows what this guy's about. He's so tough mentally, and that's also really important in a player. So real respect to Pedro Neto, playing during a really tough moment. One of his best mates from Wolves and from Portugal, unfortunately passing away. The fact that just a few days later he can pluck up the courage and strength to put his face out there in front of thousands and thousands of people and put in a good performance and win the game and help his team and be there. That's all we can ask, and that's more than we can ask for a player, because obviously these people are also people. Pedro Neto is a person, Diogo Jota was a person. These guys aren't just footballers. When most people, when the loved one dies or a close family or friend dies, they might take a day off work or a week or however long it takes to grieve. These guys like Pedro Neto, Ruben Neves and João Cancelo as well for Al Hilal, real respect to them, because it just shows their passion and dedication for their craft and their mental toughness. So yeah, on that note, guys, it was a good performance, and we are through to the semi-finals against Thiago Silva's Fluminense, who, by the way, have been very, very good. Do not underestimate Fluminense. They kept a clean sheet against Inter. They only conceded 1 to Al Hilal. They kept a clean sheet to Dortmund. This is a very, very solid team who we cannot underestimate. They've still got world-class Thiago Silva at the back, a 44-year-old keeper. They've got experience oozing from every single aspect of the team. So, yeah, man, we need to bring our A game to that game. And I think if we do, I see us going through to the final against, whoever it may be. And we might get a clearer picture of who it may be later tonight. I will be watching the PSG Bayern game. I will be watching the Dortmund Real Madrid game. I will be making videos on both of those games. So you can expect that and 3 videos today. But yeah, guys, Chelsea through to the semi-finals. Again, like I said, we're taking it game by game. So one more game, 2 games left in total. Come on, lads, we can do this. And in a bit,